Good afternoon, everybody, and our viewing audience and commissioners. Thank you very much. Today is Wednesday, August 11, 2021. We will now begin our Inland Valley Development Agency regular meeting. At this time, sensing that there is no closed session items, we'll do a general call to order, and then we will proceed on to our open session. And if there's any members wishing to discuss closed session, even though we don't have any items. I don't see anyone. So, Ms. City Clerk, can we please call the roll?
Yes, certainly. Please state your name for the record. Members on the line from the City of Colton.
Frank Navarro.
Isaac Suchel.
Thank you. Members from the City of Loma Linda.
Bill Duper.
Dusty Rigsby.
Thank you. Members from the County of San Bernardino 3rd District.
Don Rao.
Thank you. Member from the County of San Bernardino 4th District.
Kurt Hagman.
Thank you. And members from the City of San Bernardino.
John Valdivia.
Theodore Sanchez.
And I believe that is everyone. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Clerk of the Board. My apologies. At this time, if you join me, please, we'll rise to salute our flag. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. At this time, item number E, any items to be added or deleted?
No items, sir.
Moving on to conflicts of disclosure, any members wishing to announce their disclosures?
Please note for the record that members Reynoso and Charette are just joining the Zoom meeting.
All right, very good. Welcome. All right, and this is item number G, informational items. Mr. Burrows.
Great, thank you. I have two brief ones here. One is so brief because Mr. Cousineau gets to do it. But the general update I wanted to give you, and our Finance Committee heard a little bit of this a few minutes ago, but I wanted to give you a general update on the Mountain View project. Normally, Mr. Barrow would be bringing a closeout package to you at this meeting. You know, we've been working with our general contractor, Griffith Companies, very, very closely. Jeff more than me. Thank you, Jeff. But I'm happy to report that you know, the substantial progress payment was just released. Mr. Gibbs and I just signed it, and that catches our hardworking contract crew up. And we do envision by your next meeting bringing the final closeout paperwork to you. And as requested by our co-chair, we are coordinating, Ms. Amber Casares, our talented marketing manager, is coordinating a ribbon cutting that you all get invites to. We're looking tentatively right now is the week right after Labor Day, but we'll work with your respective schedules and get out there with Edison and SBCTA and a whole bunch of people and have a good time and thankfully celebrate the fact that we've got a new corridor to Interstate 10. But we really appreciate, as your staff here, Jeff would share this with me. Thank you for your patience. Thank the community for their patience. We do every day. This was a very complicated build, and you know, Griffith is going to get it over the goal line here, as is Mr. Barrow. So thank you, Jeff. But we'll be in touch on calendars and invites and all that fun stuff here shortly. So now Mr. Cousineau gets the fun one. A quick update on our audit. Mark.
Thank you, Mike. Make this quick. Our audit's underway with Edie and Payne. They've been our auditors going into their 5th year now. Interim field work was completed in May. We held our entrance meeting today with the required communications with governance, which was the Finance and Budget Committee. And we anticipate the audit being completed in November with the draft financials being presented in October. And there was one other piece of finance news. We were happy to report that all the loans from IVDA to Sabia were paid off July 9th with the funding of the Sabia bonds to the tune of $8.3 million. And that completes my report.
So to our co-chair, Suchel, your reserve's looking a lot better at IVDA now. Thank you, Mark. That concludes our reports.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burrows, and I want to send my deep appreciation to Jeff and his team. Thank you, Jeff, for undertaking such a very arduous task on the opening of Mountain View. We're excited I'm sure our trucking community is excited and all of our individuals along that corridor. This is, for our viewing audience, this is in essence from the 10 freeway at Mountain View all the way north, 2 up, 2 down, into our airport. And so this makes it really accessible and nice for, especially as we alleviate the traffic along Tippecanoe and Waterman. So this is a big, big plus. And I want to send my appreciation to our team, our staff members here, and the construction team that undertook such a momentous project for us. This is all IVDA ran, and so we're grateful for our partners. And this is, again, continued growth at the airport. This seems to be just another win for our airport. So we'll open it up to commissioners, if any comments.
I came in that way today, and it's looking good.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to put a toll booth on my Mission
you for
Creek
not.
Bridge, but SBCTA told me I couldn't do it. We still own the bridge, though. If IVDA wants to do it, I'm down.
Looks like Member Navarro has his hand raised. on
Yes,
Zoom.
Mayor Navarro.
Yes, thank you, Co-Chair Valdivia. I just want to express also my appreciation to staff. Not only do we own the bridge, but we own one heck of a road going north to the airport. Job well done to everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Duper.
Mike, would you maybe like to comment on anybody that might be driving through there now on that one specific piece that we talked
yeah.
about?
Yeah,
So
thank you.
people
Yeah,
don't
we
think that
touched on
was
this in the
missed.
Finance Committee. So as you drive coming, like if you're coming southbound towards Interstate 10, there is a segment just between Mission Creek and I-10 that's not resurfaced at this point. And that's for 2 reasons. It was just outside the scope of Griffith's project limits. But with your city manager, Phil, I've been coordinating with Mr. Barrow and the team with San Bernardino and Redlands on maybe a local agency-led project, because there's some developed impact fee monies between the 2 cities that could have been used to do the resurfacing, so we're not paying for everything. Well, dumb luck prevails, and weight sometimes broke the bridge, but in this case it helped because City of Redlands just permitted a new industrial development on the east side, so that big triangle that's been vacant for a long time is going to be a new industrial park, and that developer is going to do the road.
Oh, good.
That on their dime. So thank you,
Good, good.
Redlands, and thank you, Loma Linda. So as I told our construction team, you won't like me for saying that Loma Linda and I widened and re-signalized Interstate 10 faster than it took to build the Mission Creek Bridge. So thank JARB for me, okay?
Okay, very good. Let's move on. Members, the next item on our calendar is board consent items. These are item number H on your calendar, and it's items number 3 through 6.
I'll move it.
Rouse second.
Motion by Duper and Rao. Any questions or pulls? All right. Board of the Clerk, please call the roll.
Certainly, I have a motion by Member Duper and a second by Member Rao. Please state your vote for the record. Member Navarro.
Clerk of the board. Yes, clerk of the board.
Yes.
I'm just getting it wrong today, aren't I? You caught it, Isaac. All right.
Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Suchel.
Aye.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Rao.
Yes.
Member Hagman.
Hagman, aye.
Thank you. Member Valdivia.
Yes.
Member Reynoso.
Yes.
And Member Sanchez.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Item passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you. These are board action items. Item number 7 is to approve a month-to-month service agreement with CNA Janitorial Services for 2 buildings owned by IVDA.
Hagman moves. Navarro seconds.
All right,
Nice
wonderful.
presentation.
Well
We'll
said,
suspend the presentation, and we have movement. Let's call the roll, please.
Thank you. I have a motion by Member Hagman and a second by Member Navarro. Please state your vote for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Suchel.
Aye.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Rao.
Yes.
Member Hagman.
Hagman, aye.
Member Valdivia.
Yes.
Member Reynoso.
Yes.
And Member Sanchez.
Yes.
Thank you. Item passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you. This is item number 8, approve the form of an employment agreement with Mr. Burrows to serve in the capacity of Chief Executive Officer. Mr. Lewin.
Thank you. Mike Rose has served as the first executive director, now titled Chief Executive Officer of the IVDA since July of 2015. His current contract, which was a 2-year term, expired in June of this year. Since that time, he's continued to serve in that role under the terms of that contract, which technically expired, has still been at least honored across the board here. So I have before you a new contract. This one would be for a 1-year term to employ Mr. Burrows as our executive CEO. The salary rate is the same as previously on the contract, subject to, for this contract gets the, I think it's a 3% consumer price, not consumer, excuse me, cost of living adjustment on it. Other than that, the salary remains the same for that. As with other contracts, this contract for Mr. Burrows is cost allocated with Sabia because he is also the CEO over there. So the total contract number that you see on the salary basis is really 50% to the IVDA and then cost allocated 50% to Sabia. I expect this will be in front of the Sabia Commission later this month as well. The contract, as I mentioned, has a 1-year term. It is, however, terminable on 30 days basis by either party, IVDA or Mr. Burrows. Other than that, the contract is pretty much the same as has been in effect in prior years. So that's my summary of it for you. I'll answer any questions you may have about the contract at this time.
Very good, Mr. Lowen. Thank you. I'd like to, as board chair, move for approval on this, and we'll entertain a second on it.
Second.
All right, thank you, and we'll open it up for questions or comments. Okay. Jennifer, please call the roll.
Certainly. I have a motion by Member Valdivia and a second by Member Navarro. Please state your vote for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Suchil.
Aye.
Member Duper.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Rao.
Yes.
Member Hagman.
Hagman, aye.
Member Valdivia.
Yes.
Member Reynoso.
No.
And Member Sanchez.
Yes.
All right. Looks like the item passes.
All right, thank you. Item number 9 is consider and discuss report on UAS Center here at San Bernardino International Airport. Mr. Burrows.
Great, and I'm going to let the star of the show come up, get you all to hear from the person working the work, Kim Benson, our talented UAS administrator. Kim, take us away.
Mike,
Got it?
Nope.
One sec.
Hello, hello, hello.
There we go.
That's better.
Now you can sing.
That's better. Now I can sing. Good afternoon, everyone. Really happy to be here and looking forward to sharing with you what we're doing, what we've been up to for the past year. Before I start, I wanted to ask if any of you have any questions, because I want to make sure I get them all answered for you.
I'm going to ask you if we can get a tour.
A tour, okay.
Great.
Absolutely. If there aren't any other questions, I will proceed. We can have the next slide, please. So we opened the center just about a year ago on July 1st. And what we have here at the center is a very, very unique opportunity. There are only a handful of airports that the FAA has approved for the use of unmanned aircraft, and we are one of them, and in the nation. And this creates an incredible opportunity for us in which we are going to capitalize. Next slide, please. We are pursuing these 3 objectives concurrently. The first objective is fueling innovation. The second is creating safer communities. And the third is advancing our workforce. And I'm going to speak about each of those segments as we go along here. But I want to point out here that this, again, is another unique aspect of what we're doing. We are not simply a drone training center. We're not simply a testing site. We are actually endeavoring to do all of that at the same time. Next slide, please. Sorry. So in that first pillar of fueling innovation. What we are offering for drone companies and drone technology companies is an opportunity and a location to continue their research and development by conducting test flights on site at a metropolitan airport, which is quite unusual for them. In addition, to be a place where they can get guidance on continuing their research and development from experts in the field. And then as they move toward commercializing their products, we are a place where they can actually conduct the product demonstrations and, actually start commercializing their products. We can give them introductions with public sector agencies. That's also been very useful. And that picture that you see right there is one example of one such opportunity. You see Chief Dan Munsey in the front there, together with a team of people from a spin-off company from Caltech, from their Caltech Center of Autonomous Systems and Technology, with whom we have a strategic alliance. And in this case, this is an example of an event that was held where that company had an opportunity to interface with public sector agencies and to actually demonstrate their product on site here at the airport. We are continuing with conversations with a number of drone manufacturers and drone technology providers right now, and engaging them on their own research and development and providing them guidance. And we are looking forward to also encouraging investment in our region by encouraging them to look at this area and the surrounding area for their actual operations. Next slide, please. The airport operations team here at SBD was one of our first clients of the UAS Center, and they are now fully trained. They are using drones in their operations on site at the airport. You can see here a number of different use cases, wide variety of use cases, even just within the airport, from perimeter inspections to runway inspections, security. The list goes on and on and on. But the training that they received at the UAS Training Center has really given them an opportunity to revolutionize their own operations, be more efficient and more effective. Next slide. Okay, so I remember last month at this meeting we had an opportunity to see some footage of the Esri site scan technology being used at SBD. You may recall that this site scan technology is an all-in-one software solution that basically provides a central hub for project management, drone missions, data collection and analysis. So again, it's collecting, not just collecting data, but actually analyzing it, but using it together with drone technology. So this is a great example of how we are creating cooperation between, our local companies, world-class local companies, together with drone technology to advance the use of technology for the benefit of the airport here. Next slide. These are just a few more photos that show the capabilities of that site scan technology using drones. Okay, so our second pillar, creating safer communities, is a really, really important one for us and another differentiator. We focus on providing training for public sector agencies of all kinds, including first responders, but not limited to first responders. Something very, very important about this is that not only are we providing training, but we're also providing the opportunity for each public agency who uses a drone to integrate their standard operating procedures, their directives, and their training, making sure that they're training to their written objectives and training to their operating procedures. And that's really critical, because without that happening, you can't minimize your liability. So we are offering, in addition to providing drone training for these agencies, we're offering assistance with not only drafting the standard operating procedures and directives, but also making sure that all of them together are internally consistent. And then that we offer training that actually meets those objectives. This is becoming more and more important for public sector agencies, and there's becoming more of an media around this aspect, because as drones continue to be used more in an increasing way with public sector agencies, they have to be sure that they are minimizing their liability in this area. Now, in addition to that, I'm going out of order here a bit, but in addition to that, we are, through our technical advisors and our instructors, we really prepare public sector agencies to fly drones safely, right? And make sure that they are getting the guidance that they need on product selection, to make sure that they are utilizing their finances in the best way, that they're working with drone companies that will be around for the long term, with whom they can grow. So the guidance and the expertise that we have on our team is really critical, not just for the training aspect for these, but for these other elements as well. Next slide, please. Here's a list of the public sector agencies whom we've served thus far. We're hoping to do a lot more with each of them, and I will speak to the Workforce Development Board aspect in a minute here, but we are currently right in the middle of providing the Sheriff's Department SWAT team with extensive training lasting over several months. It's going very well, and very pleased with the progress there. Next slide. This is a slide that describes the core curriculum that we offer. The first, there are basically 3 courses. The first is an online course that is used to prepare people to take and pass the FAA exam to become a certified drone pilot. The second 2 courses, the ground school and the flight line training, are interactive, on-site, hands-on drone pilot training offered at our center. These are all, very important taken together, obviously, especially for public sector agencies. Next slide, please. Advancing our workforce. This is also then our third pillar, equally important to the others, and we have made some good progress, and I'll explain a little bit more on what we're specifically doing. First of all, we have a strategic partnership established with the County of San Bernardino's Workforce Development Department, as well as we were established as a formal approved training provider under Goodwill Industries' CalFresh program. In each of these cases, what we've done is we've thought about how do we remove all of the barriers to entry for a person in our community who's interested to become a drone pilot. And some of the costs involved, while they're not, not necessarily huge costs, they do represent a barrier. The first cost is our online training course, which costs $250 to take. And the second is to take the FAA exam, costs $160. So we thought through what we could possibly do to help remove these barriers, and we approached each of these 2 agencies and we said, look, we will provide the online prep course free of charge to your clients, and then if you on your side will cover the cost of the test itself, the exam itself. And each of these agencies thankfully said yes, and so we are embarking on offering that as an opportunity for people to upskill, to maximize their marketable skills, get back in the workforce, or also for young people who are age 16 or older can also pursue this as well. And I'll speak to the third point in a little bit. I'd like to go to the next slide, please. So this is a slide that talks about the possibilities in terms of job growth, what's already been anticipated. and the types of industries. I mean, virtually every industry is using it now, so, but it gives you some examples of some of the industries that are positively impacted now by the growth in drone technology and drone pilot jobs. Next slide, please. This is just to give you an example of some of the companies and entities with whom we are already cooperating, either as vendors, suppliers, developing partnerships, and I think in another 12 months, we'll see a lot more on that slide. Our marketing, so we have a full marketing plan developed for this fiscal year, encompassing each of these various areas, and they are the areas that you would imagine, right? We're also always welcoming of new ideas as well on that. Next slide, please. I want to spend a bit of time on this particular slide. We have, at this juncture, an absolutely remarkable team. I can't ask for a better team in terms of their abilities and their skill sets. Jeff Riolo, as our lead instructor, has taught hundreds of drone pilots. In virtually every public sector agency imaginable. He and his team of instructors, he's not the only one, he has a team of instructors, have years and years of experience, and he also owns a company called Empower UAV and Code 3 Drone, and these companies focus on providing drone operations as well as drone training in commercial, industrial, and public safety sectors. So we have an incredibly well-qualified and amazing instructor and team of instructors under him. We also have the capability to scale up our operations by working with him and his team, and that's an important aspect as well. We have to be able to be ready to grow, and we are absolutely ready to grow the training aspect. Terry Perisher is one of our technical advisors. Terry is well recognized as one of the top U.S. military drone experts, period. He is retired from the Army after a 22-year career. He also started, ran, and sold a drone engineering firm, and so he's been through the whole process of commercializing drones and can speak to the full gamut of challenges when it comes to drone companies and commercialization of them. And his real, well, he has many strengths that he brings to the table here, but one of them is he commanded large units of drones in the military, in two branches of the military. So he was involved in integrating the drones into the operations. So when we talk about integrating drones into operations of public sector agencies, you know, we have the kind of expertise that is absolutely unheard of in this team here. Okay, Jason Ramos, again, an extraordinary person. He is a 25-year wildfire smoke jumper. He is a member of one of the nation's elite wildland firefighting units, and he uses drones daily in his operations. In addition, and you'll see a pattern here, in addition, Jason has his own company called Product Research Gear. And what he does is in his company is he vets major drone companies' products for safety in the harshest of conditions. So we have an incredible team there. I just wanted to point that out to you. Next slide. Just in closing, this is my contact information. Always happy to speak with any of you and provide you with tours or answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Benson. We appreciate the report, and we'll open up for members' comments. Okay.
Mr. Chair, this is Supervisor Hagman.
Yes, Supervisor, go ahead, please.
Hey, first of all, I just want to say congratulations and, keep up the great work. I mean, I don't know if we all really, we know it's unique, but for an airport to get the ability to fly drones on it is probably count on the size of one hand of how many airports in the United States can do that. So, and we're near population. So we're not in the middle of nowhere where you're not going to find people to work. I do want to pass on that I had a great call with, or not call, visit with General Atomics yesterday. And I told them about our UA center, as well as some other things that the county's working on. They're very much, and for those who don't know, General Atomics are the ones that make the Reapers and Raptors for the U.S. military. And, they have 2 locations in San Bernardino County already. Their headquarters is in San Diego. So that's where we met with one of the principals of the company. They're very much in favor of not only, helping us advance our center and any kind of expertise they have, partnering up with different projects, but also with the workforce training aspect. And I think that's something that we can find very unique because there's no one else really working on the workforce to that large scale. And so I want to thank Mike and his vision and all the help from the staff to get this up and running. But now let's take it to that next level. Let us know how we could partner up to really start putting this out there as mainstream to these other big partners like General Atomics and Amazon and others that are really going to be investing heavily into this, not only for the workforce, but for their products. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor. We certainly will, and Kim's already reaching out to your team as we speak. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other further comments? Appreciate it, Supervisor Hagman. All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 10. This is a review status of the action plan here for IVDA. Mr. Burrows.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So we'll get there we go. So you heard the latest and great update on Mountain View Phase 2. So, good things to come at your next meeting, and hopefully a nice event that Ms. Casares is working on. We had our audit kickoff, as you heard, and you see a little thing called DFAS 2. For our county members, I just want to foreshadow a very, very important series of agenda actions coming up shortly, according to legal counsel here. Because that DFAS 2 is, Lord willing, with your support, going to be the new home and headquarters of County Fire. And they are an ideal customer, tenant, and we want them close because they do a lot for us. So that we hope is right around the corner. So for our county officials, I'll say please and thank you, but more thank you, and then I'll say please, hopefully. And then moving into September, we've got a lot of grant stuff in the works, so hopefully some good news on that front. So that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. All right, members, let's move on to open session. This is item K. Any members of the public here or any public speaker slips? Jennifer?
The public was given until 1 p.m. to submit comments via email. I received none, and it looks like there are none in the audience. I have no speaker slips.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We'll move on to board member comment. I want to encourage just an update as to kind of revisiting the boardroom here, availability. I think it might be important for us to get back to getting members back. I think the camaraderie there, especially following the protocols, and we'll open it up to member comments.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Burrows, having everybody back on the dais here, would it help staff time and help?
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly keep the hybrid format. That was the recommended, step that you all took a while back. But to be honest, for Jennifer and her talented team, having you physically here saves them just setup time. But it's really the pleasure of the board. We'll do whatever you want. We work for you. So it's your preference.
And most cities are going back to in-person meetings. Schools are going back. So if there's any legal reason why we can't, I'd like to explore that, coming back to in-person meetings.
At this time, there is no legal reason why you can't have in-person meetings. As Mr. Burrows indicated, the hybrid system is still in effect. board members always have the ability to attend remote. That was separate from COVID. That nothing to do with COVID. So that would remain in place. Other than that, there's no reason you can't all be here.
And if you'd like us to agendize something at the next meeting and discuss it again, we can do that. It's the pleasure of the board.
I would like a consensus of the board if that's possible. Since I like to have everybody's input on this.
I just want to say from the county public health issue is things are changing weekly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we just got a bunch of new health orders this morning. The numbers are still on the rise throughout the county and the state. And we know how this governor tends to change things on a regular basis. So by next month's meeting, we may have different sets of rules. We have to stay flexible. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, thank you very much. We will go ahead and adjourn our meeting today. Thank you, viewing audience and members of the public, for joining us. This concludes this regular meeting of the Inland Valley Development Agency, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.